When we first learned about LabTwin, we were really fascinated by the opportunity to having a voice assistant in the lab for our people, because we immediately saw that it creates the opportunity to do hands-free data collection. Digital transformation is very important at a company as dsm-firmenich. We are a science-based company active in nutrition, health and beauty. We have research labs across the globe and also application labs. Experimentation is expensive and takes time, therefore it's very important that we collect our information and data in a very structured way.
The main challenge that our scientists are facing while working in the lab are proper documentation of the experiments that are doing, which often involves taking notes on the paper, meaning that the experiment also needs to be interrupted in order to capture the observations or write down certain notes.
I work in explorative science, so whenever I do an experiment, I have to capture the information as it is happening, but also requiring me to continue with the experiment. So most of the times you have to write it on the paper, or you have to rely on your sense of memory and write those notes after the experiment, which in some cases makes you forget some crucial information that may be happening during the experiment.
We also use ELN, but the disadvantage of that is that you always need to have a computer available. And writing on paper actually is easily accessible, but then it's still paper and you still have to transcribe it later into something digital.
We started almost 3 years ago, where basically we started doing small pilots in our lab in Delft, in our lab in Switzerland, in Kaiserhaus, but also in our lab in Shanghai. And it really led to the conclusion that LabTwin brings an intermediate solution between collecting data in a lab and collecting it in the office in your electronic lab notebooks. So now we're really scaling it for the company.
After the introduction of LabTwin, it was really easy to scale up to a larger audience. It was really nice to see how we operate together and have a successful introduction of the LabTwin voice assistant in a bigger landscape. We also now transform to a product group, and that is another benefit of working together with LabTwin. They understand the evaluation and can support you in this.
The implementation of the LabTwin in our daily work has helped improve the data capture and create more complete documentation, at the same time saving the time of the scientists spent on documenting the experiment, and in that sense increase the efficiency and the focus on experiments.
LabTwin really helped us to collect more and better data in the labs. It gives us more insight what's happening during an experiment. We were really impressed by the quality of the voice recognition and the quality of the notes we got out of that.
The best way to describe the results is that after the implementation of LabTwin, we saw other colleagues also want to join the program because they saw that with a simple click, a simple voice instruction, all information that needed to be captured was already there, and with a simple transmission to our ELN system, documentation was completed.
So what I use LabTwin for the most is when I am developing a new method, because then I often take a lot of notes, because it's something completely new and I really want it to be written down accurately. So LabTwin is actually the perfect solution for that, because it really helps me to right away accurately document everything. And I think that is the most important as a scientist. Also, it helped me save a lot of time. And next to that, it's also part of the future that we see for our labs.
So we have some sample matrices which we have to change pH, or we have to observe under the microscope. And sometimes you can have some small and sudden changes, such as color change or a difference in the sample matrix, which does not stay there for a long time. And LabTwin has helped me to capture such data either via voice notes or picture taking, and I don't have to rely on my memory anymore.
Capturing the data has a benefit on two sides of the story. The first one for the scientists working in the lab. They can capture the data quicker and translate it to the report. But also in the end, those reports having more data, the data is complete and accurate, and that can be used again in a global search tool, and also looking to the future of AI, where we can use this data as a source of input.
For us, the collaboration with LabTwin turned out to be a very good one. LabTwin is a very entrepreneurial company, but also really listens to their customers, and together we can co-develop solutions. They really have a can-do mentality, so they often challenge us, is this the right way, can you do it differently? They also help us in rolling out the system at different locations. You can imagine that people in different labs sometimes work in a different way, whether it's a chemistry lab or a biotech lab or microbiome lab.
They really help to think about what is best for us as dsm-firmenich scientists.
Starting the project together with LabTwin felt like working in an integrated team between the two organizations. Introducing LabTwin as a tool is also introducing a new interface voice to my colleagues. And LabTwin supported not only in the technical implementations or the setup of it that they did in workshops with my colleagues, but they also supported my colleagues with the change of working in the lab by using your voice. And that's an important change that needs to be recognized in this project. And I was really happy LabTwin was key in implementing this.
And we see that the feedback that our users are giving is taken seriously and incorporated in the product, which brings us value and motivates our users to further explore the use of LabTwin.
dsm-firmenich is a global leader in the industry when it comes to biotech research, chemistry and microbiome research. By teaming up with companies like LabTwin, we really show that we're also at the front when it comes to data science and digital transformation.
So our focus currently is on the implementation of the tool in R&D labs, and we want to grow in the number of users, but also we want to grow in the number of use cases. And further, we want to explore how this tool can be implemented in other type of laboratories.
I'm looking forward to the upcoming year, where we can see that the roadmap of LabTwin is still giving us new setups, ideas, where we can combine our data that we already have into insights